another episode of Wisdom on the Front Porch, where your front porch is anywhere you're gaining wisdom and knowledge. And today we're gaining it here with Cory Nunes. Is that how you say your last name, Cory?
Nunes, but I
Nunes?
go with I go
Okay,
by however somebody pronounces it. It doesn't matter.
awesome. Awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm now right now I'm in the financial consulting business. It took me a while to get here. I've had done lots of things, grew up on a dairy, worked in the trades, had my own construction business, now I'm here in the financial business, and now I'm here talking on your show so we can have a conversation and maybe help those that are listening here today, you know, have a little jump start on their entrepreneurial journeys.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Wonderful. So you worked on a dairy farm. You grew up on a dairy farm, is that it?
Yeah, so when I was about 2 years old, my dad he was in the construction and his boss passed away. So it kind of he
Oh,
needed to find work in the location where we were at. There wasn't much work. So there was a gentleman there that hired him to go to Nevada and build a dairy farm. And
oh wow.
so my dad went there, built a dairy farm for the guy. And after he was finished with it, the guy wasn't moving there for right away. So my dad decided to buy some cows and get it started. So it was an operational place when the guy showed up. And they were
Right.
part for a short period of time until we bought our own dairy. And I grew up on a dairy my entire life.
Nice. You've seen a lot of changes then.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Um, so for those who don't know, tell us why you choose Holsteins, if that was the type of cattle you had.
Yeah. So we had Holsteins just because I think that's what my dad kind of grew up with when he was a kid too. That's what they had on their little family farm.
Right.
Uh, my grandfather was also a dairyman, but it just the Holsteins. I mean, they're just I wouldn't say one's better than the other. It depends on where you're shipping your milk. What
Right.
use you're going to use for your milk. What market's available where you're located. The
Okay.
Holsteins were good for us. I actually had my own herd of registered cattle, and when I was growing up, and went to all the big shows and showed them and did all those kind of things.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Now the only difference I know in dairy cattle is I believe it's Jersey because I don't think there's any Guernsey anymore, but the Jersey produces a lot more cream than a Holstein would. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so there are still some Guernsey dairies out there or
Okay.
combination. There's still few Guernseys out there, but yeah. So Holsteins they produce more of there's less butter fat in the milk.
Okay.
A
Okay.
Jersey will have more of the butter fat and the high in solids content in the milk.
Right.
So
Right.
usually a lot of Jerseys are used for butter and those kind of products, and the Holsteins are used for more of a fluid milk consumption. Most of
Okay.
the time, there's a crossover. When the plant needs more, they use whatever they need to use. But um,
Right.
9 times out of 10, Jerseys are going more to a plant that's using the milk product to make more of the solids.
Right. Right. And that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Um, so wow. So you went from there. You said you did construction. Was it what type of construction did you do?
So when I graduated high school, I didn't want to do anything but be on the dairy, right?
Yeah.
So, but my mom would not have any of that. She was like, no, he needs to go to college. So
Oh wow.
my dad says, hey, you need to go to college. Your mom's kind of, adamant about it. So I go, okay, well, I went to a JC, for a year. Really, honestly, I went to the JC that first semester. I was going Monday through Friday, had my classes spread out. And then I learned that I can schedule all my classes on a Tuesday, Thursday.
Oh wow. Nice.
So then I scheduled them all Tuesday, Thursday, and I was working Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays for a tile contractor, learning how to lay tile. So um, finished up that school year, decided I did not like school. I went back to the dairy, even
Did you?
yeah. So mom was okay because I gave it a shot, right? So I went back to
Right.
dairy, was there for a while, and then on that dairy, ever since I was a little kid, we always did 100% of our own construction on dairy. We did every bit of it.
Right.
So I
Right.
knew how
That's
to
pretty typical.
weld, use a hammer, use screw guns, use chainsaws, use everything. We did 100% of everything ourselves. So pretty handy in that. My dad was a contractor before, like I said
Okay.
before. And then I just kind of rolled into it. So about in my early 20s, right around I think 23 or so, boy meets girl thing happened. She left. I thought I was the only one in the world. So
Oh,
I sold my partnership in the dairy.
okay.
So I decided I had to chase her. I shouldn't say yet, pretty bad, but so it didn't work out, right? It
Right.
didn't.
Right.
So I came up to Northern California where I'm at now to hang out for a couple weeks, lick my wounds to say, and I never left.
Oh,
Um,
isn't that something?
yeah, just never left. So I did a little work for some other people here for about a year, and then went to work in the trades.
Okay.
And then I just decided, why am I making all these other businesses money? I was
There
running
you
their,
go. There you
I
go.
was in charge of things, right? So I said, I need to get my own license. So I went out and got my own general contractor's license and had my own company starting in 2007. So during that time, had a kid born also, my boy. Times just changing. You had to make more money. So the only way to do it was to be your own boss. And
Right. Right.
but then I realized right around 2018, somewhere right in there, I was watching all these other contractors and how they were retiring. And they're
Oh,
working way into their late 70s, right? And the only thing they have left when they retire is just their body's all broken down. Their
right.
tools are
Yeah.
all wore out. There's no retirement plan per se. So I didn't want that to be me. I went
Smart.
looking for something, how to prepare for retirement. Started educating myself. Started, looking into all different kinds of products, different kinds of systems. Asking lots of financial advisors, kind of things. And I
Yeah.
came across a company at the time was called Cal Choice Financial, and it was amazing what they showed me. No one else has ever seen. I've talked to lots of people, and I was like, wow. I go, I want to do something like that. They put my plan together, right? So we went through my entire plan, made it goals, and did all these things, put my plan together, and they kept me informed every step of the way, and actually showed me what they were doing.
Okay.
And so I was like, I want this. I want it. I want this product. And at the same time, I go, I want to do this. I want to be able to offer it to the people I know.
Oh, nice.
They helped me get my license. And after I got my license, I started in kind of slowly learning more about it. And then that's when I decided to make the switch. And I said, I'm going to close down a construction company. I'm going to go into this full time. So I stopped taking contracts in the construction company, finished up all my contracts and promises that I made to people, and
Right.
then went into full time into into the financial consulting piece. And here we are. It's great.
Wow. Wow. Those are really some big changes you made. Were you scared at all?
Well, it's yes and no. The
Okay.
one thing I grew up was on the dairy. So the one thing I always knew how to do was get out of bed and go to work, right? We
There you
didn't
go.
have a choice on the dairy. So the cows have to be fed, cows have to be milked, they have to be taken
Yeah.
care of, they have to be tended to every day, no matter how sick you are,
Yeah.
right? They
No
depend
holidays
on
off.
you. So I know how to get out of bed. I know how to go to work. So I just treat everything like that. It's like, no, you go work at it,
Yeah.
it will work
Right.
out. And so that's been my mentality no matter what. I mean, some people thought I was crazy when I started my construction company.
Yeah.
You know, I was working for an outfit where I was making big money. I mean, I was like at 70 some dollars an hour, right?
Nice.
I mean, that's good money. I took a pay cut starting my own business.
Right. Yeah. And you would because you're just starting out.
Yeah, but it's the only way I can control the amount of hours I can work for the amount of money I can make,
Right. Right.
that I was,
Yeah.
you're not going to make no more
It's,
money being at that company.
yeah.
So
Because you
you have to
actually
have
owned your
ability.
time at that point. You weren't managing your time. You owned it. You decided what to do with it and where it needed to go. That was, yeah, very good.
Yeah. So and same thing, go from construction. Everybody thought I was crazy when I was shutting the construction down, going into financial consulting. They're like, what are you doing? And I go, this is going to be better, and I'm going to build it, and it's going to work out. And I don't see myself changing anything in the future now. I think I'll be doing this until I can't do it no more. My mind won't let me, right?
There you
Uh,
go.
because it's great. I love helping people reach their goals too and show them that you don't have to be rich. You don't have to have a lot of money. These little things and little impacts in the right place can make a huge difference in your financial future.
I was just learning about that we're reading a book called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. And that was one of the things he said, this lady had $1. That's all she could do. So she stewarded that dollar. And then the next month she had $2. And so she was able to take care of the $2 and it just kept building up. Because a lot of people think I can't afford to finance or can't afford to invest in anything, can't afford to do this because they're thinking these big, huge numbers, beyond what they have at the moment. And it's like, no, start with what you do have. Where are you? That's wise sound. Because then at that point, everybody can do it. If you have any kind of money, find a way to invest it and do it wisely. Um, so so you've got a family during all of this time. You're changing the different jobs and stuff. How did you manage to keep that all in harmony and not have, so many times when you're doing an adventure like that, it gets so stressful on the family that the couple split or other things happen or the kids resent you or anything. How did you balance all of that?
Apparently I didn't because everything you mentioned there happened, right?
I'm
But
sorry.
it no, it's okay. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's the truth of the matter. These are the things everybody thinks people have gotten to where they are because they were lucky, they got easy, it
yeah.
was given to them
It
something.
was so easy for them.
Yeah, it's not. But
No,
like I said, what did I do? I got up every day and I went to work. And now everything that went wrong, right,
yeah.
is actually harmonious again, you know.
Oh, really?
It's all great. Everything turned around. It's just stress and things just happen. They're happening for a reason. It's you
Yeah,
got to push through those. You will not make it as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, if you can't just look at yourself in the mirror and say there and know why you're doing it, that you're going to make something better for you, for somebody else, or whatever it may be. If you are making it better, you have to keep pushing through
right,
because
right,
the difference is very little.
right. I do want to mention something here because I'm kind of going through it with my spouse. Um, he's waited a lot of years to, we're just back to the fire department again, and neither of us have our EMT license. It's been too long, it's expired. We have to get new ones. And so he's doing a course, but he's doing the compressed course because that way it's done faster. He's through with it. He's got it. It's not going to stretch out over years, a year or two. It's done in just a few months, but it is really stressful. It's like now all of a sudden I have nobody helping me on the ranch. I've got nobody helping me take care of things here at the house. He's just dog tired. He comes home and from his regular job, he still works his regular job. And now he's got this extra training on it. We can't really go anywhere because he's got to study. I mean, he's got a heavy workload for school. And then he has the trainings at night. So it's like, even though he's in the house, we're not doing things together. So, of course, I work a little bit more. But it's like, well, he was there to support me to get started, so I'm going to be there to support him. I mean, you really have to look at what's going on. And though we didn't talk about it because we've gone through this several times before with other things, we already know how to handle it. We know how to be prepared for it. The other day, even though we're prepared, it's like, I don't even get an hour today with you. I mean, it's crazy. It's Sunday. I should at least get an hour, but I understand that. Sometimes he doesn't have an hour because he's doing this compressed course. And we did talk about it. Yes, go ahead and do it. And in fact, I thought about doing it, but it's no, I am really at the point that I'm starting to get momentum in my business and I don't want to stop that. Um, so you have to work through it. You've got to find workarounds. You need to look at those things beforehand and prepare for it because it is really tough. If something breaks around here, guess who's going to have to take care of it? And through my lifetime, I have learned to do plumbing. I could plumb a brand new house. I could plumb an old house. I know electricity to a point. But there are a lot of things that I have learned that I had to do if I wanted it done. I can change out a toilet. I can change the light fixture in the house. There's just things you do. And the water, the other day, I left the water, turn the hose on for the cattle, put in stock tank because it was getting pretty low. And I walked away from it. Now I know better than that, but it was pretty empty. And I thought, okay, I'll just go back out. Didn't remember it until the next day. And it's like, yeah, that's not good because it floods everything. Fortunately, it's been so dry around here, just soaked up really fast, but still, so you have to account for those things. Now, I could have blamed him and said, if you would have been here, blah, blah, blah. But the blame game does no good. All it does is make things worse, makes you more upset. And it's like, it was my own fault. What am I going to blame him for? This morning, his alarm went off, but he was so dog tired. He didn't hear it for 2 hours and he was late. And he could have started blaming me, and he started to. And he caught himself and he stopped. And he just said, I don't care how tired I am. I don't care what day of the week it is. If that alarm's going off, wake me up. I said, okay. Because before he'd go, don't wake me up. I set it early so I can sleep a while longer, but not now. It's got to be there. But like I said, he could have started blaming me and I could have taken real offense at it. Would have had every right to take offense at that. It's not my fault, but he didn't. He stopped. And I'm not going to be offended about what he was saying because what good does that do? It's just pity. What's that thing, don't sweat the small stuff and it's all small stuff. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm not a counselor or anything, but going through life, that's the things you got to look at. And I know that's not every situation, and I don't mean any offense to you or what went on in your life. But for those that are struggling, maybe you need to just not take everything so personal.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, and society is changing very fast now.
Yeah.
I mean, we all want instant gratification, When you call somebody now and they don't call you right back, or they send a text and you don't text right back, I mean, it's like a catastrophe. Man, when I was a kid,
Facebook. I never answer my messages on Facebook because my phone was going off constantly. So I said, no more notifications. And somebody got upset at me because I didn't answer my Facebook message right away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I've never had that happen before. That's a new experience.
Yeah. I mean, we all grew up where you had a certain amount of time on the phone, and it was connected to the wall, it was on a cord, and when you had the answering machine, you were when the answering machine came out, we thought that was the coolest thing, right?
Oh yeah, that was big stuff. If you didn't have an answering machine, yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, you had to wait till somebody was home to get a hold of them. But today's society is just instant gratification. They want instant response, instant this, instant that. And don't get me wrong, it's nice and handy, but I always got to remember what I think is important is not always important to the next person.
Right. That's true. Yeah. That's a very good point to bring up. Yeah.
So it's, my was, how's it go? Your sense of emergency does not mean that I need to have the sense of urgency.
There you go. There you go. And being open about things, talking about it, say, hey, I'm really tired of you not giving me any attention.
Yeah.
Just say it and talk about it. Find a time to do it and, agree on things. And, this agree to disagree is okay for a while, but if you're always disagreeing all the time and never agreeing, you need to change that plan because that's not servicing you anymore.
Yeah.
It's okay once in a while. It's like, all right, we have different opinion on something, that's okay. But to always be disagreeing, it's like, nope, there's something else going on there. And like you said, you have to understand what's happening with the other person and what their mind is thinking. What's that saying used to be real popular when I was a kid. I don't even know if anybody says it anymore, but it's walk a mile in the other person's shoes. Now, that
Yeah.
doesn't just mean put them on and kind of see what their life is like. It's like, no, you go through everything they go through with their thought process and how they see it. And that's a lot tougher to do. Yeah.
Yes.
But it gives you grace. And we need to offer each other so much more grace today.
Yep.
But
Gratitude. Have gratitude, you know.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Gratitude support. So tell me, do you have a morning and evening routine?
My morning routine right now consists of, well, I got a podcast community that you're also involved in with us.
Right.
So for me, that's that I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to meet that that time frame. So that's my morning thing, and then I finish at that when we get done there, and usually it's different every day of the week because on Mondays I fall right into a lot of the trainings for the businesses that I'm in
Okay.
work with. Get on those, get all the trainings are usually always in the mornings. Then you're on to calls with either for my podcast or for either for work. The calendar's always open, pushing people here and there,
Right.
making it work. I need to get better at the routines, and that's kind of some advice I would have for anybody listening to
Right.
really block out your calendar and get that stuff in. And I'm guilty as charged for not being as good at it as I should be. Um, I just haven't learned how to make the flexibility now start getting more structured, but working on it. But
Yeah.
that's kind of one of the biggest advices I can give people that are looking at maybe starting a business or doing it is to really structure your time so it's productive. So you're
Oh,
always
yeah.
doing productive things at a certain time. Because if you got space in between, you think you're going to start thinking about that next thing that's coming up, and you won't be getting anything done during that moment that should be getting done.
Right. I'm reading this book now with my grandson. He just graduated high school, getting ready to go in the Navy. It's called the 168 game. And 168 is a significant number. I'm not going to tell you what it is because you got to get the book to find out. But it's about owning your time, not just managing it, not just saying, okay, I've got this to do, but actually owning it because it's your time. This is your life. You've only got the one life to do. You decide what happens when, and it actually reduces a lot of stress. I implemented a couple of things that he was talking about over the last week, and it's like, wow, just those little things made a huge difference. And so that's a really good one. Jose Escobar with the Connected Leaders Academy, he has a really great planner out. It's called the 90-day battle plan. And in there, he talks about the morning routine. He talks about the evening routine. You've got that time in the morning. He reads 10 pages in the morning. He does his Bible study. He does his prayer time and meditation. He works out. And he's up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So he can get all of these things in. And then at the end of the day, he closes out the day. Now, not necessarily nighttime, but wherever he decides his workday ends. And during that time, he puts everything down in the journal, in the book, close out what went right today. Why did it go right? What went wrong today? Why did it go wrong? Those kind of things. And I do that in my 35-day journal and 35 days because you might, maybe the week runs a little bit longer for your book, your next one comes in or something.
Yeah.
But those are the questions I ask. What did I do yesterday that I'm really glad I did yesterday? The questions I ask, what went right? Give me two things that went right. I have gratitude journal in there, just it's 10 things you're grateful for. And then I have in there what went wrong, but why did it go wrong? What did you do about it so you're prepared next time? And I talk about taking the 14 minutes a day to do something that improves your life. For me, it's walking. And I actually have that in my calendar. I have, 14 minutes. I think it's like from 12 to 12:14. I go take a walk. It takes me that long to go to the mailbox and back because it's a quarter mile away. But what do you do in that 14 minutes to make yourself better? And I wasn't walking or doing anything. And when we're sitting here doing these Zoom calls and conferences and everything, we're not doing our body any good. We need to get up and get that blood flowing and get it moving. In fact, when I was doing genealogy, I could spend 8 hours sitting on my bottom doing all the research and just really, because I didn't want to stop. When you got a good lead, you want to keep following it. But I realized I am not going to have a very healthy body. It's too hard on it. So I would set my alarm every hour. I'd get up and stretch and move and do things for just a few minutes, and then I could go back to it. So yeah, putting those schedules in there, scheduling out what we need to do and being consistent with it. My morning routine, I have not been very consistent with it. And my goal for November is to do it every day. Don't get up and start working on something else and forget to do it. Do it every day. And I think it's really good for us. Tony Robbins says, does he like to go out and jump in the cold creek by his place or the cold river by his place every day? No. So why does he do it? For the mental discipline. Because you build that up, you're going to be able to build up everything else. So we're talking about your business, and here you are in finances. So what are some of the struggles that you still have as you go throughout your business? I mean, besides what we've talked about.
So the biggest struggle, I mean, and it's kind of funny because it happened when I switched to general contractor, and it's happening again, switching from general contractor to financial consultant, right?
Yeah.
It's how your immediate circle sees you and
Oh,
how long it takes for them to accept you in a new role. That's
wow.
the that's the hardest part, I think, as far as making that change, is because when I went to general contractor, my immediate circle, family, those, they're like, does he really know how to do this stuff? Can he really build a
Wow.
house?
The
Can he
doubts
really
in there.
Yeah, they just doubt you because they knew you were working for somebody else. So they figured that person knew what to do. You were just a guy working,
Oh,
right?
oh, that's a good point to bring up. I wouldn't have ever thought of it that way.
Yeah, so they don't see you as that business owner or the person doing that. So then, going from the construction out to the consulting, they see me as they finally accepted me as the contractor, right? Now I get to that point. Now I'm switching again. Sometimes maybe you can say I'm my own worst enemy. I think I'm just an
I think you're
entrepreneur
pursuing
type
your
that like,
passion. You're
yeah,
doing what you think is going to fulfill your life and take care of you too at the same time. You're
yeah,
enjoying it. And I think a lot of people don't understand that you enjoy your job. And they're
yeah,
like, but I don't enjoy mine. How can you enjoy yours?
yeah. So, and they don't see me. They don't see me now as the financial consultant. So most
Yeah.
of my clients are people who I've met through network marketing things here, there. They're not. I don't have very many clients like really close in my local area. Most
Wow.
of my clients are, out of the area. I mean, I got a few, some of my, the really close friends that know that who I am really well personally, they know, like, and trust me already, right? They
Yeah.
know I'm not
Yeah.
going to do anything bad for them or anything like that, because the financial world already has kind of that bad taste, in most
Yeah,
people's minds.
unfortunately, and it's really, I guess
Because
for some things it is warranted, but overall it's really not warranted because if we don't steward our finances, who's going to take care of us when we can't take care of ourselves? Or how are we going to live? Look at how much everything has increased in price just over the last 5 years. What is it going to be like in another 30 years? Are we even going to be able to take care of ourselves regularly, not without anything added to it? So why not invest in yourself by investing in your future and taking care of your finances to make sure that they're always there for you? Yeah, yeah. You were talking about how they can't see the transition from construction to finances, but goodness, if you own your own business, you better have your finances in order. Your business isn't going to last very long. So you definitely have to know how to do those things. You have to know what to do to for the future of your company so it's there, because construction is changing all the time too. I mean, prices and where to get the best prices and quality products. That's not always easy to do.
Yeah. And really what I found was if I knew the information I know now, excuse me, being in the financial world and seeing all these different things that can happen with money, if I knew them now when I started my construction company or back then, if I knew those
Yeah.
things, I might still have a different kind of construction company because it would have jump started that even that much more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's amazing. And it's amazing what's available now. A lot of people say, oh, I have my 401ks. I need to do something with it. I don't know. And if you talk to someone who knows how to deal with that, even if they're small ones, it doesn't matter, how much you've got in there. But there's things you need to do to make it work for you instead of work for other people, I'll
Exactly.
say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We were all taught that, when we're young, go to school, go to college, get a degree, go get a job that offers benefits, get 401k,
Oh,
match
yeah.
in 401k, get all that, and the
And
baby
you're
boomer
good.
generation is retiring now at a large amount of numbers every
Oh,
day.
yeah. And they
And
don't
we're
have enough
finding out
money.
that they do not have enough money to retire on. And they're
Yeah.
the biggest generation that's done everything right.
Right. Yeah. And I don't, the one thing that I want to teach my grandkids, and I can still teach my kids too, but I want to teach them, leave that legacy to know how to be a really good steward with your finances. Because I grew up the same way. You go to school, you get a job, it pays the benefits, then you're good for the rest of your life. Well, you're not. What if the company goes under? What if you get fired? Nobody warned me about getting fired. I got fired from one of my jobs over something stupid. I had the flu and I hadn't been there very long. I'd never worked really any other jobs. And I didn't know that even if you're sick, you still go to work and then they send you home. And but there's a whole story that goes on with that. But, anyways, so I didn't know what to do at that point. I had nobody around to really talk about it. And what do you do after that? Um, but nobody ever said, why don't you go into business for yourself? I mean, that was just kind of farmers do it all the time, but somehow that doesn't translate over to someone who's not a farmer. Go into business for yourself. Well, farmers need things, everybody needs something. So
Yep.
yeah, it's interesting how people think and how things go, but being informed financially. And if you don't know what to do, you find someone like Cory and help you through it. And so you get it done right, because there's a lot of people who will do things that benefit them, give you a little benefit, but really aren't helping your money work for you. And it's sad that they do that. And I understand, business is business, but people should be our business. Wasn't it Scrooge that said something like that?
Yep.
That mankind should be our business.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of joke around, when somebody asks me, depending on the environment I'm in, they'll ask you, what business are you in? And I would kind of sometimes I joke around and say, I'm in the client acquisition business. I am
That's
trying to acquire clients. That's basically my business right now.
yeah.
So, and it's, however you want to take it, good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all trying, no matter where you're at, you're trying to have clients. That's what
Right.
revenue to your business is, your clientele.
I've got a different word for you. Somebody told me one time, don't tell people that you're busy. Say you're highly productive. But the word I have for you is, don't say you're in the client acquisition business. You are in the business to help people get more for their money. You're in the
But
business to help people get a better future. And, it's just my 2 cents. But,
No, and I don't.
but
Like I
it's,
said,
yeah,
that's used in certain situations where maybe I'm in a room full of financial consultants or something.
there
Where
you
we're
go.
going through stuff
There you
that
go.
I just want to be different than the somebody that says something like that, where they it's kind of more oh more the giving piece, and I just want to lighten the mood and just kind of like hit them all with something different and
Tell
go.
him
They kind of look
I'm
at you like,
Ebenezer Scrooge, and I'm in the business of mankind.
yeah,
Let them mull that over a little bit. It's like,
yeah,
wait a minute, what?
yeah.
Somebody was telling me the other day they were watching a Scrooge McDuck cartoon or something. And in that, he was teaching his nephews about money, about how it really gets handled and what to do with it properly and how not to let it not to. And it wasn't just about spending it. I wish I could remember what they said. And it was like, I don't remember that episode. I'm going to have to go look for it. I should have done it right away. But, uh, but yeah, I mean, it was just kind of interesting to hear that. And when you talk with millionaires or billionaires, you're going to find out they're more on giving you advice to make sure you get taken care of so you can get what you want to do, not so much about spending it and saying, oh, you have to do this and this and this, but it's like, what are you going to do to make sure that your money keeps growing, even if you're not watching it? And talking about this gal that had a dollar and she put it in, the different places. And within a year, she's got a lot of money. I mean, she looked in her account one day and it was $10,000, but she didn't spend it. The account was investing only, and she hadn't found anything to invest it in yet. But to see that she'd grown that much in such a short amount of time, it's just mind-boggling what we can do without even realizing we're doing it.
Yes, and that's why I tell people it doesn't take a lot, but it takes the want to get started.
Yeah, yeah. You have to do it.
Yeah,
You have to do it. And it's changing the mindset from uh, money is there so that I can spend it on things. And it's like, well, yeah, but you can do more than that with it. You
yeah.
can,
What if I
yeah,
could show you how to do both? That's what I was telling
yeah.
them. What if I could show you
Oh,
how to
there
do
you
both?
go. Yeah, yeah. That's a great way to look at it. One of my podcasts was talking about how you look at money. What's your relationship with money? How did you grow up with it? And then in the other book I'm reading, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, it's kind of talking about that too. You hear all of these things and you hear these things about rich people. It's like, well, rich people are mean and stingy and they don't ever share, although you'll see them giving more donations than anybody, not because they have more money, but because they know by giving it away is how you get more. It's just amazing how that happens. But my dad used to say, rich people, they're just greedy. They're always finding ways to steal it from your pocket, things like that. And yeah, my dad didn't die rich, but he kind of got that from his dad. And so you grow up with these things. So even if you start making money, all of a sudden you realize, oh, I'm going to get rich. Well, I can't do that because then that means I'm greedy. That means I'm stealing money from people's pockets. You don't even realize you're thinking these things. And it's like, how come I have money here and then all of a sudden it's gone?
Yeah,
Or if you grow up that the only relationship you have with money is somebody giving you money to go spend. So you think every time you get money, oh, I'm supposed to go spend it. And it's crazy how that subconscious mind works and tells us to do things that we know we probably shouldn't do, but we
yeah,
don't think about it until after the fact.
yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of books out there, and books are really great. But I like talking with people like you who know what's going on in our market today. What's the best thing to do? I talked with someone who told me about an account that pays 4.5%, and a lot of credit unions will do that, but you have to talk to them. and ask about it, because most people aren't willing to tell you, this is my, when I was in sixth grade, and go back to 1968, 69, I was so excited when my interest rate went from 2% to 2.5%. I know you're lucky if you can get 0.05%. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy, but I got products for you that I can show you.
Yeah.
Keep it liquid, still have that, and get you. I think we call it a depository account, where it's just kind of like a checking account, but you can't write checks out of it. You just transfer out of it to your checking account so you can write checks. But I
Okay.
think it's paying at 3.8 last time I checked. So
Isn't that something?
yeah, there's
Yeah.
stuff out there. You just got to go find it.
Yeah. And there's a difference between your value. What's the right word I want? If you add up all of your your houses, your properties, your toys, everything that has a value. Net worth is
Asset.
the one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got your net worth, but maybe you don't have money in your account. Maybe your net worth is $2.5 billion, but your bank account only says you have 150 in it. So, you can't go to Maui for the weekend when you live in Alaska, type thing. So I'm learning about, there's a term called cash flow, and you want that cash flow going. So you have that besides all of this other. And it's like, a lot of little things that are out there to really help you succeed financially, but you don't know about it unless you talk to Cory and others. But yeah, talk to Cory and do that. And I think it's fascinating. It used to just hurt my brain to think about money, because my brain is not a math brain, and a lot of numbers and things, it just, there it goes. you know but that's why we have someone to talk to really get well informed. And you need somebody you can trust. You were saying that people know you. They know they can trust you. They like you. They know you never do anything wrong. Um,
Well,
but
don't go too far.
well,
I'm
okay,
just saying.
okay. You never purposely misguide anybody. How's
There
that?
you go. Yeah.
There. Yeah. We're all human. Sorry.
Yep.
Glad you caught that. These are opinions of the host and not a fact. Awesome. Well, anyways, not going to get there.
Oh, that's
Put my
great.
disclaimer in. Excuse me. But yeah, there's a lot that can be done. So even if you think you don't have any money, you probably do. And even if it's not much, there's stuff you can still do with it to start making it bigger. And part of it is learning how to think, learning what's available out there, and learning how to be discreet in your own mind, telling yourself, no, this is investment, and you'll think, oh, it's only $50. It won't do anything. Well, it will. Or it's only $1. Who cares? And I talked to somebody who said they still pick up pennies and coins because they have value. They're not just going to leave them there. And I thought that was interesting, because most people say, oh, it's just a penny. Who cares? That doesn't do anything. Well, you add up all those pennies, eventually you get 100 of them. There's your dollar. Then you can split that into your investments.
Yep. No,
But
it's exactly say there's a value to it all. So making the
yeah,
value go to work again is the idea.
there you go. There you go. Wow, this is really great information. And as entrepreneurs, we need to know the financial world so we can be wise with it. We have to know what to do so we can keep funding our business. I mean, one thing, I'm hearing this a lot from those who are growing the kingdom, and there's that kingdom word. And what they're saying is, if you can't if you don't have money to give to charities, to give to nonprofits, to give to someone whose car broke down, maybe their tire blew and they don't have a spare that's any better. Sometimes you want to just help people because it's really good. And um, if you don't have the money to do that, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing the other people a disservice. So there's nothing wrong with getting money, because you can do good things with it. Now, if you're only doing evil with it, that's another story, and I'm not going to get into that. But we need to start looking at money as a resource for other things. And money as a byproduct for what we do. Money is not the reason why we do it, but it's a byproduct of what we do. And then that helps keep your focus on your mission, on your purpose, what you're doing. Because if you're always worried about the finances, if you're always looking at this and that, can I do this one or can I do that one? Um, you just kind of get caught up in that. And that's not healthy. To where if you've got a plan for it, we need to have a plan for our business. Why not have a plan for your money? And when you've got a plan set up for that, a structure that works, uh, man, that just takes a whole lot off your shoulders. And you can enjoy what you're doing a whole lot more.
Yeah. On that note of giving money, um, people always say, "Oh, money does not buy happiness." Right? That's one of the biggest things. Money doesn't buy happiness.
Yeah.
My answer to that is, then you just have not given enough away yet.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you're giving that money, you're making somebody else happy that needs it. So it will make happiness, but you got to put it in the context of why you're giving it.
Yeah. Yeah. My giving book right here, we're on volume 4, and everything about that book is giving. Every aspect of it is about giving, and all the proceeds from Amazon go to a nonprofit right now. It's the Idaho Youth Ranch in Boise, Idaho, because they not only help the individual, they also help the family and they help the community. I mean, it's really a great entity and a program that they have. And those who live in Boise, Idaho, they give all the time. There's all kinds of things, ways that they can give to them. Um, so it's true. The amount I've been able to give to them from the sales from Amazon and my own sales hasn't been huge. We're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars here, but what it was is they were very grateful for it and they were thankful for it. And so I'm going to keep on doing what I can. And there's nothing that feels better than to know that this kid who, for whatever trouble was going on, now has a better life, now knows there's something else out there that's bigger than them or that's not as devastating, and that the problems that were going on, they can be taken care of. Teenage suicide is too high.
Yeah.
And suicide itself, no matter what age you are, is way too high right now. And so you need to have some place to go to that is going to be safe. It's going to help you see through it. Our problems are temporary. 20 years down the road, we're going to look back and it's like, wow, I took that way too far and I shouldn't have done that. So, yeah, you talk about money not buying happiness. It does. How many times you go on vacation and you thoroughly enjoy yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I'm not quite sure what they were talking about. I think maybe they were talking about, money being the only way to be happy. Well, it's not, but you gotta have money to go do stuff. How many of us go to the movies or buy a movie or rent a movie on TV or whatever,
Yeah.
Many of us go to the grocery store and buy candy bars or sodas or a birthday cake, or, things like that. So yeah, I can buy happiness.
Yeah.
But so Cory, how do people get a hold of you?
Uh, they can, look me up on social media, Cory Nunes, or Cory Nunes Capital. That's kind of the rebranding we're going through right now.
Okay.
So look me up on YouTube. That's where my podcast is also on that channel. They can look me
What's
up
the
on
name of your
LinkedIn.
podcast? Sorry, what's the name of your podcast?
The name of the podcast is the Lost Coast Podcast.
Lost Coast Podcast. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's on the YouTube. You got to look up Cory Nunes Capital. That's the page it's on.
Okay.
Find it from there. Yeah, they can reach me on LinkedIn, Facebook, reach out to me however, all them social media ways. I'm not real hard to find. I think if you just Google me, you'll get all the information you need. But yeah, so It's, Cory Nunes or, Cory Nunes Capital at gmail.com will work just fine.
Nice, nice. Good, good. Yeah. Thanks so much for being on my show. You've got a lot of great information for people. I know we didn't talk about the nitty gritty, um, but they can get a hold of you to do that.
Yeah, yeah. And we can always do a
Yeah.
follow-up show and, get down in nitty-gritty stuff if that's what you want for the listeners
Yeah.
next time,
That would be good. Yeah, we could always do that. Listen to you on your show and really learn from you there. So is that what you talk about on your show is how to handle finances?
No, my
No?
show is more around kind of like the lines you're doing it on. I bring my guest on the show, and my show is about my guest.
Nice,
That's
nice.
it. We don't talk about any of my financing or anything consulting piece like that. I'm just doing promoting the guest on my show, what they do, what they offer, and the troubles and tribulations they went through to get to where they're at. So maybe somebody
Yeah.
listening doesn't have to hit all them speed bumps and can get to
Oh
where they need to
yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that's like with a magazine, Wisdom on the Front Porch magazine. So you've got it with these great articles in it. And of course there'll be advertisement because, we need you need to know where to go to get things. But the information is there. So you can highlight it, you can sticky note it, you can circle things, whatever you want to do with it. And some people do that with the e-magazine. I haven't figured that one out, but they do it. So we'll figure that one out as it goes along, or let them do it. But yeah, I mean, you want that information so it's available, so you know how to get further in your business, so you know who to contact, you know how to get through the problems, and you know how to avoid the problems. That's a big thing right there. Is learn from what we've done, learn from our mistakes, so you don't have to make them. There's always going to be mistakes, failures, whatever you want to call it. It's just things that didn't work. That's all it is things that didn't work. You're learning why it didn't work, adjust it a little bit, try it again. Maybe it'll work this time, or maybe that's not right for you at this time. So try something else. And it's okay. It's okay to do that. That's where you really grow. Um,
Yep.
yeah, it seems crazy, but that's where you grow. Thanks again, Cory, for being on my show. I really appreciate it. And thank you, our audience, for tuning in. I really hope you got some great value out of this. Be sure and go to wisdomonthefrontporch.com and you can make suggestions for future shows, what you want to hear about. You can make suggestions on this podcast, and you can find out more about the magazine. So we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on Wisdom on the Front Porch with your host, LS Kirkpatrick. You can find us on our website, wisdomonthefrontporch.com, see previous episodes of the podcast, and view issues of the magazine. Did you know you can submit questions, leave reviews, or suggest topics? You can also tell us where your favorite front porch location is and what it means to you. We hope you gain value and insight from today's or previous talks. We appreciate your support for us so we can continue to provide value and expertise to you and others. Subscribe to Wisdom on the Front Porch magazine and join in next week when we bring you another great insight into the world of entrepreneur culture and lifestyle. Make today a great day. Always believe that something wonderful is going to happen.